Okay, I think we're live now. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. So my name is Famida. I am Bank to the Future's Investor Relations Manager. And today we are joined with Simon Dixon, CEO of Bank to the Future, and Mateusz, the head of our BF Wallet, head developer of our BF Wallet. So let's get into our fifth AMA. Simon, I'm going to hand it over to you.
Okay, thank you very much, Famida. So I am here in Cancun, Mexico at the moment. So hopefully the sea in the background is not too distracting. But I'm not just here on holiday. I'm here at the Satoshi Roundtable conference, which is the fifth year, consecutive year running. For those of you not familiar with the Satoshi Roundtable, it was originally started actually to get all of the CEOs, developers, miners, and everyone that's working on the ecosystem together in order to actually try and get some harmony on scaling solutions. We all know how that actually went, and that led to a 5-year debate on how to scale Bitcoin. But this year, while I'm at here, I'm just going to give you a very brief summary of, there was literally hundreds and hundreds of the CEOs, developers, miners, people that are building in the industry, people that have been here since the very beginning, and all gathering together. And I'll go through a couple of the themes that were here at the conference. I also do that. You'll notice that there was an interview I gave on CNBC Crypto Trader, which should go live at some point today as well, where I gave a bit of a summary with Ran from CNBC. And then what we're going to do is we're really excited about introducing you to the BF wallet. And I'm going to attempt to give a quick demo of it and hopefully don't mess up all the technology or gox myself in the process. For those of you not familiar with the process of goxing yourself, that's when you reveal information on a screen that could later lead to some of your money being stolen. And my goal is to try and not do that. And so therefore, there's certain parts of this process that we're not going to demo, but you can download the wallet now. We're happy to say that it is live right now on both iOS and Android. And we'd be delighted for you to download it and give some reviews for that. And the rest of this is going to be about taking your questions and helping you understand how is this just another wallet, and how does it actually integrate into the ecosystem? And then we're going to answer as many questions as you can, and for me, just going to pick them out. And we've got Mateusz here to answer some of the questions that I might say something stupid, and he's going to interrupt me and make sure that I'm being technically accurate here when I say certain things. And he's going to go through some of the security parts that you might be concerned with. So without further ado, I'm just going to give you a quick overview of what's happening here in Cancun at Satoshi Roundtable 5. I'd say that there were really 3 main themes from all of the people here. And there was pretty much everyone in this industry that's building stuff here. And what was different from last year is that it's only the builders left. Last year, there were plenty of people pitching ICOs and things. And while Satoshi Roundtable is actually the best conference for filtering the people that are kind of you really want to be with, but we're only left with the builders and the people that are really building something throughout this bear market. So it's great to actually see the excitement and what people are actually up to during this bear market, as opposed to many of the ICOs that are probably not building anything. And so so there's 3 central themes, I'd say. Firstly, it was great to hang around with a lot of the developers working on scaling solutions. Really excited about some of the things that are coming through. Some of the updates that are happening in Lightning Network and Liquid, and some of the things that are happening on Bitcoin scaling. It was really, I'd say it was really a lot of the Bitcoin people that kind of dominated the scaling conversations, as opposed to some of the other alternatives like EOS and ETH, although those did take quite a lot of the conversation as well. The second thing was there was definitely a big movement towards people working on the security token space. And so it's a very nascent industry. There is a lot being done in order to take every asset in the world and try and turn it into a tokenized security or a securitized token. And lots of legal debates, compliance debates, technological debates, liquidity debates, who the target markets are. Excuse me, I've got a little bit of a cold, so but I still wanted to do this anyway. So excuse my sniffling if it comes through. And really, securities token did take a bit of center stage here, with many people launching what they're up to. But it also highlighted how far we've got to go as an industry. But there's such a ginormous collective effort to try and make this work. And the third and final thing was really the institutional side. And one of the big takeaways, having spoken to a lot of the institutions, was that a lot of the custodial solutions, a lot of the things like ETFs, and a lot of the large financial institutions that are actually building in this space, know how long they have been building. So, some of the financial institutions, there are Chatham House rules, so I can't name exactly, but they have been mining Bitcoin for an awful long time. They've been looking at Ethereum, they've been building smart contracts, they've been doing, lots of interesting stuff. But I'd say the central theme from all of the institutions is that they've just about ready to launch custodial solutions for Bitcoin and Bitcoin only. They can't handle the pace and challenges and scaling issues in many of the other blockchains and things that are happening. So in the institutional space, I noticed a massive shift from them mimicking Bitcoin to trying to eliminate Bitcoin by using the word blockchain, to them building their own blockchains, to them actually seeing Bitcoin as the only reputable thing that they can deal with, and building custodial solutions for Bitcoin and the next wave of exchanges, cryptocurrency and Bitcoin, really. So that was really insightful to actually see where their heads are at and what they're actually building. And this year will be the year. There was several really awful things that happened during this conference. There was actually a death for the an Acapulco conference, something to do with Mexican drug cartels. I don't know much of the details, but I decided to cancel my speaking appearance there due to some of the things that are going on. But apparently the conference still goes on. There was also the disastrous hack, or alleged hack, which we're trying to figure out whether it's an exit scam by a very intelligent scammer, or somebody actually died at one of the leader of this exchange in Canada. And so it was a very challenging time, I guess, with some of these things, and I'm sorry for your loss if you were private keys with the exchange in Canada, and I hope to see where this actually goes next and what we learn from this. But yet again, another experience that teaches us not your keys, not your crypto, which really ties in nicely to the BF wallet and the next phase that we're looking to actually go through at BnkToTheFuture.com. And so really just a general overview of what we're trying to achieve here with BnkToTheFuture.com, what the BF wallet is and what it is not. So if you are looking for a great privacy-centric wallet to store your Bitcoin and Ethereum, while it will produce that functionality, we're doing something slightly different. We're optimizing around the user case of security tokens. Ecosystem that we built at BnkToTheFuture.com, and the utility for the BFT token built, and that is really what the wallet is really optimizing around. And it's designed to serve. One is to allow you to store your own crypto in a way where you can still get access to many of the perks that a BnkToTheFuture.com member gets when they deposit it on their centralized BnkToTheFuture.com account. And at the next phase of speeding up transactions, we hear you. We know that many of with our manual processes, but as a securities business, we have to adhere to certain compliance, and we take your fund security at the highest level, and therefore we introduce, as opposed to some of these cryptocurrency exchanges that are fast, but also lead to many hacks. And so the next stage, have you been able to take control of your own assets, and also get some of the benefits, and also gain access to some of the features that you would usually log into BnkToTheFuture, as well as the first step of our security token strategy on this AMA. And so what we're doing is, you'll notice that there's lots of different parts to be built. There's custodial solutions, there's the protocol level innovation, there's exchanges, there's wallets, there's lots of stuff to make this ecosystem thrive, and of course all the compliance and regulations and everything that comes with it. And so what we're doing is, we at BnkToTheFuture are actually building BnkToTheFuture.com in the way that we have always built it, in a centralized manner, because securities are not bearer assets, they're not Bitcoin, they can't be fully owned, they are still registered securities, and they are subject to certain restrictions. We've launched the secondary market, which we're actively developing, and at the moment we're in beta. We're really happy with the feedback that we've been receiving. At the moment, you can trade the Bitfinex SPV shares, and we've been releasing features based upon your feedback, iterating out, so the ability for you to do sell orders, and we're delighted to say that those that wanted to get out at the price have sold at a 10x from what their original investment might have been. At the least, some have exited higher. And at the same time, we've added the features that you're looking for iteratively. So firstly, you wanted the trade volume. So now when you go to the market, you can actually see the history of all trades that have occurred in beta. Even at this stage, because we're really testing our systems, but the next part of the release is allowing for you to enter your buy orders, and then we've also integrated the user case of being able to get 50% discount off your trading fees when you pay with BFT. At the same time, we're working on our deposit and withdrawal system. So we
Yeah, it looks like Simon's internet is pretty bad out there, so let's just wait for him to try and rejoin, and we'll just bear with us. I might just tell him to just switch his video off and just have his audio on, because that might actually be better. So thank you so much for sticking with us. Please don't leave. I will just stop sharing my screen.
Okay, I can hear someone now. Hello.
Yes, you.
Okay, Mateusz, I can hear you. You can hear me now.
Yes.
Can you see my screen?
No.
Okay, let me try and get there again.
Simon, I was just thinking that maybe it might be better if you just keep the video off, so that the audio is just being recorded. Maybe the video is just killing the data.
Okay.
Speed of the internet. Sorry.
All right. Okay. All right. I'm struggling to get my screen up, and I think it's because of the speed.
Yeah, I think the audio is fine. Everyone on the chat is actually asking you to just have your audio on, so it's still live. We're still broadcasting, so people are just
okay. While I'm trying to do this, do you want to just take some questions, and we'll jump into questions?
Yeah, sure. Okay. Okay, so we have a question about the BF wallet. I mean, we could go into questions about BF wallet, or we could ask Mateusz to go through the signups and stuff. I mean, the user of the wallet.
Yeah. So, Mateusz, why don't you dive into helping people understand what they need to do to set up the wallet in the initial phase, while I try and get the screen share moving.
Okay, so when you download the wallet, the BF wallet, at the beginning we show you some interaction about the most important features of it. We ask you if you would like to receive a notification from Bank to the Future. This would be a native mobile notification. So, for example, when we will have some interesting page, for example, we can notify you through through the app. The next step is to log in with your Bank to the Future account. Simon would probably not present that now, but This is a really simple process. The app would redirect you to prepare the Bank to the Future page. You just enter your email, password, and the 2FA code if you if you have set up the 2FA, and then you will be back in the mobile wallet, and you would see a screen that that notifies you that you have to create or import your private wallet. During the process of importing your wallet, the private key, for example, is created by the application. You are able to set up your mobile wallet, your private wallet PIN or passwords. You can decide what kind of option would you prefer. Of course, the password would be better in security from the security perspective, but PIN is obviously more comfortable, so you can choose. The next step, at the next step, we ask you if you would like to connect your mobile wallet, your private wallet with Bank to the Future account. If you would agree, then Bank to the Future will have access to your your private wallet address, but only to your address, not to your private data. And this helps us to track how many BF tokens you have on your account, and based on that, we can give you the premium membership status. So actually, you don't have to store 10,000 of BFT on the Bank to the Future account. You can just store it on your private wallet, have your private keys only to yourself, but still now benefits from having premium membership. And that's basically the whole process of creating the mobile wallet.
Can you hear me?
The private wallet. So now you would be redirected to the page that Simon presents now, but of course your balances would be zeros.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you, and that's
excellent.
Basically all about the process of creating a private wallet. And I think, Simon, you now can present the rest of the application, and if you would have any questions, I can answer it.
Thanks, Mateusz.
Okay, great. Can you hear me clearly, Famida?
Yes, I can hear you clearly. Yeah, I can also see your screen.
Okay, that's great. I did actually almost gox myself. You probably saw some of my Slack messages and Telegram messages, but hopefully
I actually muted you so that didn't happen.
Okay, all right. Okay, we're pushing through, people. So we're right. We got the screen in front of us. So yeah, the reason that Mateusz explained that process was because we really didn't want to go through my passwords and things like that, and we're not sophisticated enough to figure this one out yet. But the next time, hopefully, we'll get this better and we can do some, real professional demos. But we were just excited about getting this to you right now. So I'm on the first screen right now, and the first thing you'll notice is that you will see two supported currencies. The first is the Bank to the Future token, BFT, and Ethereum. Now, the reason we've got Ethereum is because all of the development work in the security token space right now is happening on Ethereum. And that's a theme that we got from Satoshi Roundtable, is everyone's building on Ethereum. Now, that's not to say that Ethereum will be the winner in the security token space, but at the moment, all of the development and everything we can bring to market right now is being done on Ethereum. Now, I'm very excited about Blockstream's Liquid network and the potential for actually integrating that with not only Lightning in the future to get free fast transactions in security tokens, but it's all very, very early stage. But you can actually tokenize on Bitcoin in a couple of ways. Firstly, through Blockstream's Liquid network, which is actually live, and we're in touch with the team to make sure that we're up to date with that. And also through Bank to the Future portfolio company, Rootstock. So we're looking at both sidechains and the liquid network to find out whether the security token space is going to migrate at any point over to the Bitcoin blockchain now that we've got lots of interesting scaling solutions. But initially, everything's being done on Ethereum. So because BFT, the Bank to the Future token, is an Ethereum-based token, in order to transact, you're going to need some ETH on your wallet. And at the moment, BFT is the official, the BF wallet is the official token for BFT to have a seamless process. So now, those of you that were asking before, where can I put my BFT that were storing them on exchanges, or they were using my Ether wallet? Well, now you can use the BFT, the BF wallet, in order to put your BFT on that wallet, should you choose. Now, remember that means that the private key and the security is on your phone. But if you went through the process of creating a backup, that means even if you lose your phone, you're able to restore that private key by downloading the wallet again on your new phone. So that's very, very important to save that and store that in a secure way. And we've so you'll notice the BFT there. Now, if you hold Bank to the Future token on your wallet, and you do this and you connect your BnkToTheFuture.com account, which you can either do upon sign up, or you can do by clicking on this BF icon. Now, I've already connected my BnkToTheFuture.com account, and it's a simple process. A pop-up appears. It asks you to log in or create an account if you don't have an account with Bank to the Future already. We make it very clear what type of data is being taken out of Bank to the Future and what kind of data comes from the wallet to Bank to the Future. And so if you make that connection, we know whether you have 10,000 BFT on your phone wallet or not, and therefore we can give you access to all the membership features without actually having to hold it on BnkToTheFuture.com. But once you connect your account, you'll notice that it's taken all of my balances from my BnkToTheFuture.com account. So on my BnkToTheFuture.com account, I have 10,000 BFT. I've got some Bitcoin, I've got some Ethereum, I've got some US dollars, and any other wallet balances that I might hold on my account already. What I can do is I can press this button next to the BFT. You'll notice this wallet symbol, and that allows me to take the funds off BnkToTheFuture.com. And in a very simple way, if I press the max button here, I can take my whole balance and move it over, or a portion of the balance, to my wallet. And therefore, what that will do is it will request a withdrawal to the BnkToTheFuture.com centralized system. And then we'll do our usual manual checks and what we need to do before people can withdraw funds from BnkToTheFuture.com. And then once it is in your wallet, it is then in the automated process of you using it as any other wallet, where you can send it and do with it as you wish as a normal wallet. And that would be the same for Ethereum. And in the future, we plan on doing more integrations with Bitcoin, as I said, depending on where the Bitcoin token ecosystem goes, and also USD through wallets like at the moment Tether, and maybe USDC and TUSD, and whoever's going to win volume in the stablecoin space, which is a bit of a battle that's going on right now. So the benefit of that is you can still get the membership perks. And if, for example, you were trading on the Bank to the Future secondary market and you wanted to benefit from the 50% discounted trading fees, then you can very simply take some of your BFT from your wallet and transfer it to your BnkToTheFuture.com account in the normal way. And once you're done trading, you can take them back off onto your wallet and hold them in your own private wallet. And we're going to get better and better at those, seamless integrations and functionalities, and try and make it easier. And in future, make it really easy for you to do things like buy BFT and shift BFT into separate things as we go for more and more integrations as we build the BFT community and features. Now, the next thing that I wanted to go through is you'll notice this security token section here. And the reason it's coming soon is because there are actually only a couple of reputable security tokens that exist right now. One of those is one of the ones that we actually raised funding for on BnkToTheFuture.com, which was the Lottery.com. So I've got a plane in the background right now, so hopefully that will pass, but if that's not too noisy, I will continue. We're going to do our first beta case of issuing security tokens, and we're going to use the BF wallet in order to do that. So once we're working through this case study right now,
Simon, I'm really sorry to interrupt you, but I'm getting in the chat that no one can hear you. If you just bear with us 1 second, I just need to see in the chat that everyone's hearing you right now. Yeah, everyone's hearing. Everyone is hearing Simon now. Is it just me that you're hearing, or can you hear Simon? Simon, can you say something?
I'm gonna continue talking now. Hopefully, you can see my screen and you can hear me.
Okay, great. Yeah, as you said, they can hear you perfectly. I'm just going to mute myself now. Thanks, Simon.
Okay, thanks, Amida. So yes, we're working through a live case study right now. Now, those of you, there may be investors on this call from either Lottery.com, which was one of the first it was the first security token other than the Bitfinex hack recovery token that we have actually worked on and did a primary offering for. Now they're doing a revenue share model, and they're actually in the process of issuing their tokens right now. And they are using the securitized protocol. Now, for those of you that invested in Securitize on BnkToTheFuture.com, we actually did the equity raise for Securitize. And the reason we did that is because one of the reasons, they are the only company that we know of right now where you can actually live and functioning launch a security token, use their protocol, and actually do that right now, which we did with Lottery.com. So Lottery.com was the first security token that was issued on the securitized protocol. BnkToTheFuture.com raised funding for Lottery.com, and we're now in the process of working with Securitize to do a deep integration with the BF wallet. You also may know that we're investors in Polymath and various other parts of the ecosystem, so we're keeping an eye on those as well. Also, while we were here, we were speaking with the team at T0, and we haven't got anything to announce, but we've been working on how we can partner to actually add the T0 token once we've done the Lottery.com, the Lottery.com token as well. And also, we are looking at whether we can support the blockchain capital security token as well, which are the main reputable ones that have actually began in our space. And so once we're done with this, our first user case is to deliver to all of the Lottery.com investors their security token. And it will mean that we can essentially whitelist your Ethereum wallet address. And that will allow for us to deliver those tokens on BnkToTheFuture.com, and then you will be able, the goal is that you'll be able to withdraw them to your BF wallet. Once they are on your BF wallet, the securitized protocol is designed whereby whitelisting partners who are registered securities businesses, registered broker dealers, are able to whitelist those that have passed the verification process, the anti-money laundering process, and the certification process as being a compliant investor able to trade security tokens. At that stage, if the Lottery.com is launched on an exchange, like for example, Open Finance is got a live functioning exchange, then you will be able to withdraw those onto that exchange, and we're able to build up this ecosystem. So maybe T0 launches it in the future as well. Then we're able to use the BF wallet at the center of being able to distribute those tokens, whitelist you as a user, so that then you're able to receive additional security tokens in the future in compliance with securities laws. And we're at that very early stage of building the ecosystem and allowing you to have the complete cycle of the security issuance process. Now, I know that might be a lot to actually take in, but as I said, this is all being live built right now, and an ecosystem is being built. And BFT, our utility token, will always be at the center of all that we do around giving you additional features and allowing you to do this as more and more security tokens get through. And then you might want to, in the future, for example, put the security token back on to our Bank to the Future secondary market, and we might be able to go back and forth depending on how this ecosystem grows. Now, we are doing this slowly because we're not sure which the exact protocol is going to win and become the industry standard of the security token industry. At the moment, it looks like ETH, but that is not necessarily going to be the case, especially as we see the hard forks that are coming up as Ethereum goes through its scaling solutions. So that gives you an idea of what will happen in the security token space there. So if you are an investor in lottery.com, look out for the Investor Zone forum, where we'll be giving you updates, and in preparation, download your BF wallet. Make sure you've got your account fully certified and verified, which I assume you do if you invested through Bank to the Future. And then we'll be making it live where you can we'll be delivering the tokens to BnkToTheFuture.com. And if your account, then the BF wallet can be used in order to gain a whitelisted wallet so that you can take those off BnkToTheFuture.com onto your wallet. And then wherever those end up trading on an exchange in the future, you can choose to go back and forth, as we are a whitelisting partner with different players in the ecosystem. And this is where I think the real game-changing thing with security tokens happened, which is you actually choose, just like in the crypto space, which exchange you want to actually trade with, and you can choose and you can take them off. And while they don't move as freely as cryptos, because a cryptocurrency is a very different user case to a security token, we think that that's going to be used, and returns will be delivered via the protocol, and all sorts of interesting things that were being discussed and developed at the Satoshi Roundtable with the ecosystem together here. So we're excited to launch that, and over the coming weeks you will see that. And our goal is to start with the securitized protocol, do the lottery.com token, then we can look at other securitized tokens, for example, Blockchain Capital, and then we can start looking at integrations with other exchanges like T0 and Open Finance and various other players that are coming through in this ecosystem as we continue to develop our secondary market. And by the way, the user case of using BFT in order to receive discounted trading fees is actually resulted in approximately 65% of all trades electing to pay their trading fees with BFT. And in the future, we're going to decide exactly, how to improve this and allow for a more seamless integration for buying BFT, because at the moment it's a very clunky process of you signing up with another exchange. But what we're doing and what our strategy is to build very aggressively during this bear market. And then we want to move into more aggressive marketing during the bull market, because there's very little point in really aggressively marketing these solutions in the bear markets, because they're having minimal impact. But it's a great time to test your technology, work with a smaller group of our investors that have been with us for a while to help us build this ecosystem. And then once we get the turnaround in the market, which is very unclear when that will be at this stage, maybe that's one of the questions in the AMA, then we're going to start really pushing our ecosystem a little bit further. And we want to be really built as much as we can. But at the same time, we are functioning. We are working. Our utility token is integrated with Bank to the Future. We got the BF wallet. The secondary market is in beta. We continue to do great primary market offerings. We've got two very interesting deals coming up in the near future. And then once we're ready and out of beta, we're going to be putting all of the the companies that we talked about that we've been discussing right now onto our secondary market. Having that centralized secondary market, and then gradually iterating into a more decentralized ecosystem as the security token user case becomes more apparent, and we've got all the parts of the ecosystem that we want to work with, and we're partnering with those so that we can get there much faster. And so a final thing I just want to show you on the screen before we dive straight into your questions, and I think we've actually taken up most of the time going through this. It was meant to do more interactive AMA, but we'll get to that And it's just some of the settings. At the moment, we don't have a feature to contact you, but in the future, we'd like to have a portfolio in here and give you a push notification when it goes live or a new security token gets launched, or whatever request as you start to use this wallet. And we also give you the ability to BnkToTheFuture.com account. When you click that, it will tell you what that actually means, and just make sure you've got your backup keys and you understand and you're reading those instructions, so that you keep those when you set up this wallet. Now, while you might go through a quick process of setting up this wallet in the beginning, thinking that it's not that important, I haven't got that much on there right now, we really encourage you to take it seriously from the beginning, because in the future you don't know what's going to happen, and the value on your wallet might actually become a lot greater, and you would have to go through the process of starting again, and that might be a pain process. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to try and get in as many questions. Now, I talked for a lot longer than I wanted to, and we did have the technical issues, so we're going to try and get as many questions in as we can, and probably go slightly over the hour. Yes, I could turn my video camera on, but I'm afraid that it might actually lead to...
Yeah, Simon, I would yeah, I would suggest maybe we just stick to not sharing screens, just in case it cuts
okay,
you
so
off.
I just stopped sharing my screen. Is that worked?
Yeah, that's good. I mean, even just now with just simply sharing your screen, you were dropping in and out a little bit, but hopefully not having your camera on would make your internet better. So are you ready to take some questions now, Simon?
I'm ready to fire as many questions as we can get through.
Okay, can I interrupt you? Because I would like to... okay, previously I described the process of creating your private wallet, because but I must admit that I forgot about the most important thing, so the mnemonic words or the seed phrase. So during creating your private wallet, the app would display you 12 words, and this words is the most important things in the whole app. So please write them down on some kind of paper and store it securely, because if you lost those words, for example, you get lost your phone on you, or you forget your PIN or password, we wouldn't be able to help you, unfortunately, because we don't, as Bank to the Future, we don't have access to your private data. So please write them down in a secure place. And you also have access to them through the settings. This was the screen that Simon presented at the end. There is an option to export your private keys, but to export it, you need your PIN or password. So if you would forget them, you will lose access to your funds stored on this wallet. So once again, please write them down during the process of creating your private wallet. And that's all from my side. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Mateusz. Simon, you are muted. I don't know if you're aware, but
yeah, I muted myself while Mateusz was.
Great. Yeah, Mateusz is finished. Do you have anything to add to what he just said now?
Yeah, we understand it's complicated. At the moment, we hope we're dealing with some pretty crypto savvy people, but we also appreciate that there might be people that are used to just storing funds on centralized services and exchanges. And the important part is that in giving yourself the ability to own your own assets, you also have the responsibility for looking after them. Whatever device you use will have the private key, and the private key is what gives someone access to your assets. In order to actually recover those, you need the seed phrase, and that seed phrase should be, you shouldn't screenshot it, you shouldn't leave it on your computer. Most what people do is they actually paper and then find a secure way of hiding that as if it were a bar of gold. So think about how you would actually do that. Some questions.
Yeah, okay. Right, so I'll just head into the questions now. Bear with me one moment. Okay, so there's questions about the wallet and its advantages, and there's a concern about hard wallet versus cold storage. So
Sure.
there's a question here, and it goes, as I'm sure there are a lot of people like me that have been in crypto a while, and generally it is the case of wallet, don't care, cold storage, or bust. Anything not being actively traded should be cold.
Yeah, so we suggest that this wallet is only used as part of your security token ecosystem. And so you would store BFT on there as much as you might need in order to have convenient access to your discounted trading fees. You would store your enough ETH on there to actually pay for the transactions that you might do with your security tokens or your BFT. And so think of it as kind of like 3 tiers. If wealth, the person that asked that question is exactly right. You should be using a hardware wallet or cold storage. If the next stage up is to actually just own your own funds, but put them on something like the BF wallet, and you should have less funds on that. And that's for interacting with our security. And then the worst case is where you've got all your funds in an exchange or something like that, which is only the ones where you're actively trading and using and not storing. Unless, it's a very tricky one to give advice for, because if your personal security is so bad that you're using, for example, the same passwords for everything, you're not using two-factor authentication, and you're not used to actually, understanding how to securely use unique 2FA, then there is a while you're learning that.
Simon, really sorry to interrupt you, Simon.
Of everything.
So can you hear me?
Is ever going to happen.
Simon, can you hear me?
And
oops.
Case
I don't think you can hear me.
You trust someone else to do it rather than yourself. But your job in being involved in this market is to get to them. Then you manage it between something like the BF.
Simon, just want to double check with you here. I'm not sure if you can hear me, but you're cutting in and out.
I can hear you, yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah, it's actually really bad.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, I think there's a massive lag here, but just want to...
Yeah, I can hear you.
Simon, can you hear me now? Hello, Simon, can you hear me now? Simon, if you can just maybe log in and log back somehow, log out somehow, refresh your internet somehow, if you can hear me. Thanks everyone for your patience. I know this is very frustrating, but we really need to get this out. I mean, we could either do this or just maybe do a recording afterwards. I have no idea, but that is depending on Simon's schedule as well. Just bear with us.
I've just Is that better?
Sorry, can you speak again, Simon?
I've just tried changing locations. Is that better?
Yeah, it is. It's a little bit muffled, but it's clear, and well, I can hear you. So
okay, so let's try another question and see how we get on.
Right. Okay, so I have a question here. In such a diverse and competitive market, the two first questions may come up in the heads of potential users. Why would I want to use BF Wallet? Will the wallet store value in a Bank to the Future account centrally managed by Bank to the Future? Or alternatively, the wallet will be, I have no idea what that says there.
Okay, well, I think we've answered this question already, which is the wallet is designed for the security token ecosystem and the Bank to the Future ecosystem. And so in terms of competition, we're not aware of any wallet where you can lose security tokens at the moment. So hopefully that's been answered.
Okay, great. As a current holder of BFT on Bitfinex, I'm keen to move them either to a standalone wallet or into my funds wallet on Bank to the Future. This process so far has not been simple or risk-free. Will the launch of the BF wallet simplify this? Also, have you considered getting Exodus to support Bank to the Future?
Great question. So the first part of the question is, yes, you can take them from. So the background to the question is that the way that we originally designed it, if you want to put them on BnkToTheFuture.com, because we hadn't automated that process and there was a manual element to it, you were not meant to send it from an exchange, because we're meant to have a wallet where you actually know your wallet as opposed to an exchange pooled wallet. But now, if you want to send your tokens to the BnkToTheFuture.com wallet, the BF wallet, on your mobile apps, then you can do that from an exchange simply just by entering your address, and that whole process will be automated. So we suggest people put their Bank to the Future tokens on the BF wallet rather than holding them at an exchange. And then as and when you want to use them, if you're trading on the secondary market and you want to get discounted trading fees, or you want to actually get access to priority deals, then connect your BnkToTheFuture.com account, and then you can move them very easily to the BnkToTheFuture.com funds account, and we'll make that process easier so far. But if you hold them on Bitfinex right now and you don't want to store them at an exchange, download the BF wallet and you can send your Bank to the Future tokens to that wallet in a fully automated fashion. It doesn't matter. You don't need the receive address.
What
was the second part of the question?
Oh, would you consider using Exodus? Yeah.
Yeah, I actually spoke to the Exodus guys here. So that one of the great things about being at Satoshi Roundtable is everyone's here. And I spoke to both JP and Daniel, the CEO and co-founder and co-founders of, and the CTO of Exodus. And they are waiting for an integration with a service like Shapeshift or Changely before they actually can support it on the Exodus wallet. And we've already spoken to them. They want the ability to shift these tokens very easily. And we've already spoken to Constantine, who used to be at Changely, and some of the other members to actually see if they want to support the BF token in their ecosystem. And because it's trading on an exchange like Bittrex, I think that makes it easier. But again, in the bear market where token volume is low for so many tokens, because the bear market is drawing a lot of people out of the market, it's pretty difficult to have these integrations done when liquidity is low. So I think that Exodus are very happy to do that integration for us. Changelly are happy to do that, but everyone's kind of in building phase and waiting for the liquidity of the entire market to pick up again as we enter into the next bull.
Great, thank you. I suppose this is a question for both Simon and Mateusz. It's from the chat actually, and it's about the wallet. So when you complete the final version of the BF wallet, will we have to uninstall the beta version? If we uninstall the beta version, will we have to first move the crypto to other wallets before we install the new final wallet?
Okay, so I can answer to this question. So it would be the best to uninstall the beta version and install the new version from the markets, from Google Play or from App Store, iOS App Store. But there is a chance that those shops would upgrade your beta version to final release. But to be sure, you can just uninstall the beta and install final release. And when it comes to the crypto, you don't have to transfer them anywhere, but you have to write down your seed phrase, those 12 words that I mentioned. So the process could look like this. Go to your beta version app, export your private wallet, write down the mnemonic seed, the 12 words seeds on a paper, uninstall the beta version app, install new, log into BnkToTheFuture account, and on the screen when you previously created your private wallet, just click the link, import your wallet. At the first step of this process, enter the 12 words mnemonic phrase, and then finish this process, and you will have access to your crypto assets.
Yeah, I can't speak for Google, but I did this exact thing on iPhone, and I didn't have to do any of that. So I set the wallet up in the beta program. And then I went to the App Store and I installed the actual wallet, and it simply worked, and everything was as it should be. And the beta version was just the live version from the main wallet. So everything was just seamless on my iPhone. I can't speak for Android, and yeah, but the precautious measure is simply just make sure you've got your seed, and then whatever happens, you can always reinstall no matter what.
Okie dokie, thank you for that. Seems we don't really have that many wallet questions from people that registered actually for this AMA, but there's lots of questions about the secondary market, so I'm just going to move on to that, if that's okay, Simon?
Sure.
Okay, cool. So here's one. When will the secondary market be updated with the trade history and volume? Right now, the actual data provided is incredibly limited and only borderline functional.
That's an easy question. It's already done and live right now.
Yay. Great. Thank you for that. When are the next shares going to be up on the secondary market, and how many projects do you intend to get up by the end of Q2, and will they predominantly be exchanges?
So our approach right now is to make sure that the companies that are on our secondary market are only the companies that actually got the most interest and success in the ecosystem. So we want to start by making sure that our market is only for the companies that we believe that there will be good trading, secondary market demand for.
Our goal is to probably, I mean, it all depends on how long we stay in beta for and how many features we want to release, because there's some pretty good demands that we're getting for great features and things they'd like to see. And so next is to release buy orders, and then maybe we'll release a few more iterations after that, and deeper integration with BFT as well. But as soon as we're out of beta, we have approximately 6 to 10 companies that we've shortlisted that we'll be putting on the secondary market, and they're not necessarily companies that have actually done a primary offering with us. And so those will all be household names that you have most likely heard of before. Another thing that we've been discussing as a team is what to do with the companies that haven't quite achieved the level of success where they're household names yet. And what we were discussing was the possibility of later this year having a private secondary market whereby just the people that have invested in it can buy and sell to each other only, rather than allowing new investors in. We think that new investors should only be a feature for companies that have achieved a certain level of success, which we know is an arbitrary thing, but we'll be developing better processes for determining what actually goes on. But those that all invested in the beginning together and have access to the same information, and the company may not have necessarily achieved becoming a household name in the crypto space, we're considering whether we open a secondary market just for existing investors, so you can buy and sell amongst each other. If someone's more bullish than the other, or somebody needs liquidity, then we don't anticipate those to be very liquid markets. But then if the company progresses to a certain stage, then we'd look to open that up to new investors once the level of information, the level of press releases, and the level of brand awareness for that company reaches a stage where there's enough information to make a decision about whether you would want to actually purchase that without actually being an existing investor.
Okay, thanks for that. So the next question here is, it's going on from kind of what you just answered now. How much volume did you expect on the secondary market, and what is the actual daily trading volume right now?
I don't have the updated figures, but at the moment in beta, it's not high. It's a few thousand per trade, and we weren't expecting a lot more than that in beta, really. But we're happy with the level of trades. I think if you look at other people that have tried to create secondary market for in things like the equity crowdfunding space, we've actually superseded the volume that they've done in the whole history of their platform for doing this. So it's not going to be a deep liquid market. This is still for long-term investors as opposed to short-term traders. We look forward to actually, investing in some marketing once we've actually got a portfolio of companies, so that people can build a portfolio of the most reputable companies in crypto.
So there's a question here about roadmap for 2019. Are there any plans for the future and good news that will be happening? And I guess side by side with that would be also what niche companies and projects are you vetting right now for the platform?
Yeah, I mean, as a policy, we've never released information on deals that we're about to launch. And we will continue not to do that. The only way that you will know about them is if you deposit 10,000 BFT on your BnkToTheFuture.com account, and you will get 48 hours priority notification of all deals. In the future user case that we're looking to build out is our reward scheme for conducting due diligence. And we've started to adapt those features into the company pages on BnkToTheFuture.com, but we've still got quite a long way to go in terms of making that a more used feature. Some of you are actually doing that. You can you look at the company pages and see some of the things that we're that are there. In terms of roadmap, as we said, we're looking to do we've done our first security token offering. We're now looking to integrate the wallet with the securitized protocol so that we can deliver our first security token. We're at the same time releasing buy orders and the additional features that are being requested from live customers using the secondary market. Once the bear market becomes apparent that it is turning around, then we will launch all of the other companies that we're planning, the 6 to 10 companies that we're planning on having there. And then we're looking to obviously expand out the integrations with partners such as Securitized Polymath, T0, Open Finance, and various other companies that are building out in this ecosystem. The goal of what we've tried to do is really master the centralized service with the secondary market, and then one step at a time, as the ecosystem evolves, allow for those assets to become crypto assets using the BF wallet. But what we don't want to do is make really rash decisions and fast decisions about, integrating with one particular protocol, and then it turns out the other protocol is the one where all the volume is. So the jury's out whether these assets are going to be on Bitcoin, on Ethereum, or something completely else. And so initially we're looking at integrating with Ethereum, and then we're looking at some of the other protocols, and also automating the process of deposits and withdrawals on BnkToTheFuture.com, so that the process of depositing and withdrawing is more seamless. We've increased, while everybody else, many companies have been laying off, we've just doubled the size of our support team. So we've got new support team being onboarded, and our technical team has been increasing. And we're looking to, conservatively grow during the bear market. And one thing about Bank to the Future is that we've proven that we're here for the long term. And we've been here for a long time in crypto time, and we plan to be here a lot longer.
Great, thank you for that, Simon. So there's a question here about security token. Is Bank to the Future going to have a security token? Are you planning to open a security token market?
Our plan at this stage is that we want to open a secondary market on our centralized system for Bank to the Future shares. We've just gone through restructuring. If you're an investor, you'll know. And the company's just been through a new restructuring to make sure we got the structure right. And then we were planning on launching the BnkToTheFuture.com secondary market for our shares with some of the other companies, and iteratively seeing how we want to adjust to the security token market. We haven't fully determined exactly how we want to do that, but we're very much about working with what's working right now. We're not kind of trying to guess what our investors and customers want. We're actually working with our customers and investors, and then we're iteratively approaching as this ecosystem moves and evolves. So that I can totally see a future where there is a security token for Bank to the Future. At the moment, we're very happy with our financial situation. We're building the secondary market in the centralized fashion like we have, and then we're building our security token ecosystem. And once the ecosystem is more mature, we can decide exactly how we want to adjust to the security token market.
All right. I think I have just 2 more questions.
Okay.
Yep. Right. So duplication of effort is out of control in the crypto industry. Like the internet in the 90s, most companies will cease to exist. So joint ventures, collaboration, consolidation, or failure are inevitable. Are there any plans to work with companies that have competent ethical leaders, strong finances, and solid industry connections to ensure the success of Bank to the Future?
Yeah, absolutely. And we're in a really nice position where we try and also invest in all the companies that we think have got good leadership, ethical leadership, and are really making leaps and bounds in the industry. A great example of that is Securitize. You know, we started trying to see, we cannot possibly, duplication of effort is a problem, as you said. We cannot possibly do the whole, every part of this ecosystem. And the whole idea of the security token ecosystem, the way that I see it, is not to duplicate the London Stock Exchange, the New York Stock Exchange, the Tokyo Stock Exchange, the Shanghai Stock Exchange, but actually give people the tools and the ability to pick their exchange and move forward with interoperable exchanges. In order to do that, you need identity solutions in terms of compliance, AML, KYC. You need protocol solutions in terms of, you know, the blockchain that's actually going to hold these records. You need people that are building solutions like Securitize, where they're using those protocols and building ways to actually launch securities tokens, and we've integrated them into the wallet. And then you need competing ecosystems as well, like you know, the developers that are working on Bitcoin with side chains like Rootstock and Lightning networks for you know, infinite scalability on Bitcoin blockchain, and also things like Liquid Network, so that these can be done on the most secure blockchain. And then you've also got the competing people of the ecosystem. At the same time, you want exchanges. So we're at, you know, what you'll notice, the next deal that we're about to launch on BnkToTheFuture.com, many people ask us, is this not competition to Bank to the Future? Well, we just don't see it that way, because the more people working together to build this ecosystem, the further we can get and the faster we can get. And I think we've proven that by, you know, investing in companies like Securitize, and then being able to use and partner on their protocol, opening those opportunities up to our investors so they get to co-invest as we build this ecosystem. And it's a really nice feedback loop as we move into a bull market and start to scale this market through the $1 trillion market cap and beyond. And there's more than enough to go around. And that's why we're at things like Satoshi Roundtable, making sure that we're speaking with all the builders in the community and making sure we're not duplicating effort. It's a great question, and it's a very true observation.
All right, thank you for that, Simon. I think we're going to move on to our last question here. Actually, it's not, I don't think it's much of a question, but more like a feature request, or maybe is this a possibility, basically. Right now, we know that if we invest a certain amount in a certain project, we are going to get a certain number of A or B shares. Is it possible to add on a web ROI calculator to assess past, present, and future investments in projects?
This becomes possible once we have a market price. So one of the biggest problems at Bank to the Future is that there are many companies that have succeeded, and we can't just make up a valuation for that company. We have to wait for a pricing event. So for example, Kraken, when we first invested, it was at the 20 million valuation, and their most recent funding is valuing them at 4 billion. Now, in the time between that, they didn't need any funding, and therefore, even though they were, you know, edging towards the half a billion valuation and through $1 billion and beyond, they were still showing on our platform as being worth 20 million. So for the patient investor, they were sat there thinking their portfolio isn't doing anything. And the reason for that is because we can't just make up a price. And it would be dangerous to do that. So what the model that we've always followed is that the company needs to complete a transaction by a genuine buyer and seller, or complete a funding round where a venture capitalist or a professional investor prices the company before we can actually adjust the price. But when we have a secondary market, it means that the market of our ecosystem is determining what they think the buy and sell price is based around you know, the prices and the premium and discounts to those prices. And so once we have this built, it gives us the possibility to transform the portfolio section of our account and give you some of those features that you might be more used to if you were trading public companies, for example. And so this is why we're so excited about being able to get this secondary market moving, so that we can give a bit more information for investors to actually make their decisions based upon, you know, the buys and sells of genuine investors in the market. And so once we got that data, we can totally transform the portfolio section and the fund section and give you more real-time estimates of how your high risk, high return portfolio is performing.
Okay, I think we have overgone an hour here, and with technical issues, Simon. I don't have any pressing questions from our list, and nothing really from the chat, so I think we're good.
Okay, so I'd just like to say thanks, Famida, for keeping us alive while we try to figure this out in the heart of Satoshi Roundtable in Cancun, Mexico. And thank you, Mateusz, for bringing the BF wallet to market and joining us in order to help people understand more of the technicalities around it. And my closing thought, while everybody is still here, is that we are in the midst of what is apparently turning out to be the largest and longest bear market that we've seen in crypto history. And my observation of being here with all the people that are building this industry is that the wrong people are exiting the market and the right people are building more aggressively. They're more excited than we've ever been. We are going to see a two-tiered market. We're going to see institutional professionalizing certain aspects of the industry so that you can't just lose $250 million in an exchange because somebody didn't manage the system like we've seen in Canada. And we are going to see, you know, the largest companies in the world are actually going to be launching crypto exchanges, and they're going to be building for this ecosystem. And while you might not want to participate in that, and personally it's not one for me, at the same time, you've got the builders here that are making the protocols more scalable, more technologically advanced than we've ever seen. And there is a ginormous community of people that are more excited than ever building. You know, if you look at the people that have got wealthy through building a portfolio in Bank to the Future, it was the people that were investing in the bear market and holding on while the bull market prevails. And I think we're, you know, that's exactly where we are right now. We've got some sanity back in our market, and I'm really excited about what's being built. And the longer the bear market, the more that will get built that will allow for the bull market to scale infinitely greater than anything we've ever seen before. And that's what I'm excited about. So thank you all for being a part of this community. Thank you all for giving us our feedback, and we know that we've got so much more to do, so much more to improve, but rest assured we're here, we're listening, and we're trying to build the best technology that we can build to give you the most opportunities as this industry evolves. So thank you for your time.
Thanks everyone, and see you again for the next AMA.
Bye-bye.